It's a traditional Ukrainian pancake for an extra special holiday breakfast. Here to share a recipe, we welcome back the author of Braids, Sonya Sanford. Great to see you again.
So nice to
I've
be
got
here.
it here. Now, these look yummy. Tell me about, there's a story behind them, right?
Yeah, so they're Slavic, Ukraine. They're very popular in Ukraine, but they're popular across the former Soviet Union. The root word of them is Oladka. They're called Oladi.
Oladi.
And a lot of people connect Olatkas to latkes.
Oh, yeah.
Because actually, the original latkes were not made with potatoes. They were made with cheese in Italy.
Really?
Because potatoes didn't really arrive to Eastern Europe until the 19th century.
Oh.
So apple fritters or cheese fritters were actually more common, especially for celebrating Hanukkah when you celebrate fried things.
Right.
So you start with an apple.
Okay.
And it's a hefty, it's kind of a mix between a fritter and a pancake.
Okay.
So it's good for breakfast, but it's also good
I
kind
love
of any
both
day.
things.
You do?
I do.
Do you make a lot of pancakes?
I only do when I go up to visit my niece and nephew.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
Because,
perfect.
I love pancakes. Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
And especially around the holidays when you need a breakfast with
Right.
family, and this comes together pretty quick.
Kids love them.
So the thing about the apple for this recipe is you really want to dice it very fine.
Okay.
Or some people even grate it on a great box
that makes
grater.
sense, yeah.
And
Yeah, because look how little you have those pieces.
yeah, I'm going to do this a little faster, so it will be a little less little this next time. But you're going to actually dice an entire apple for this one batch of apple Oladi. And you know, my family comes from Ukraine,
Right.
and the former Soviet Union, and so this is definitely the kind of homey holiday food my grandmother would make.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you have your apple sort of finely diced, then we're gonna start making our batter. So I'm gonna have you help me out with that.
You bet.
All right, one of the most important ingredients that makes it really a traditional Slavic pancake is that you add kefir, or kefir as we would say. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's a cultured yogurt drink.
Okay.
So if you didn't want this or have this, you could use buttermilk instead.
Okay.
But it's like a tangy yogurt beverage.
Okay.
And then you wanna crack an egg?
Sure, you bet. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, we add a little bit of sugar.
Just a little bit.
I mean, add the whole thing. Those are 3
Yeah,
tablespoons.
you got to tell me exactly what to do, because otherwise you never know what I'm going to do.
I trust you, Helen.
Okay.
All right, and then you're going to add, this is baking soda, baking powder, and a little bit of salt. Actually, here's my little bit of salt. You always want a pinch of salt for flavor. Now you can grab that whisk.
Yeah.
And we're going to whisk those wet ingredients first.
Okay.
And so the thing about the baking soda and the baking powder, one helps it spread and the other helps it lift and get nice and puffy.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's why we add both.
You know, it feels thick. That's interesting.
It is thick because of the kefir.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is also very, very healthy, full of probiotics.
Oh,
all right.
gotcha.
We
You wanna
also
put the flour in?
actually want to thin it out a tiny bit with some water.
Yes.
Okay. And then let's swap out that whisk. Here, I can grab that from you for a spatula.
Okay.
Because it just will make it easier to mix.
Sure.
And I'm going to add most of that flour. Leave a little bit because we want to make sure it doesn't get too thick.
Okay.
The recipe calls for 2 cups, but I always start with a little less because you can always add more.
Sure.
And this is a slightly thick batter, like compared to maybe a crepe or some other pancakes.
Oh, yeah.
And that's because it's a heftier thing. It's not just a pancake, it's more like a fritter. Okay, that's perfect. It can be a little lumpy. We don't want to overmix it.
Oh, interesting.
And then we want to add, hold on, I have even more apple. This is completely loaded with apples. Okay.
Have you found over the years in the recipes that have been handing down to you from your family,
Yes.
have you changed them slightly?
Yeah, I do. I mean, there's certain recipes that I try to keep exactly as my grandmother would.
Yeah.
Like her borscht, which is a beet soup.
Yeah.
I just do it exactly the way she told me to do it. But other things, yeah, I think every cook likes to sort of tweak things to their liking.
Sure.
Okay, so now is the fun part. We get to fry these up. And again, unlike some pancakes where you just do like a non-stick spray and a non-stick pan, you actually want a generous amount of oil.
Okay.
This is meant to be like a crisped, oily fritter.
Can you use olive oil? Do you prefer?
I prefer neutral oil like avocado. Sunflower oil is what my grandmother would use. That's typical in Ukraine and in lots of Soviet Union areas. But unrefined is really great. Any neutral oil, peanut oil, canola will work. I take about a fourth of a cup.
Yeah, see, that is pretty thick.
Yeah, and you don't want this too hot because you don't want them to burn and stay raw in the center. So we'll kind of evenly space them out, and you can hear them sort of start to bubble and sizzle.
Yes.
And I like to just give it a little pat on top.
Oh yeah, so that's, as you mentioned, you don't,
so yeah,
it's not
so
raw
it's
in the
not
middle.
raw, and because these are thicker than your traditional, you know, pancakes. What is your, do you have a tradition of any kind of fritter over the holidays, or when you make it for your niece?
No, not a fritter, just the pancakes thing.
And what do you top it with?
Well, butter.
Butter.
That's you know, okay.
There's nothing wrong with topping it with butter.
Yeah, jam, you know, there's jam that you put on it. Blackberry jam, jellies, whatever.
Delicious.
Yeah.
So just like latkes, potato latkes, these are often topped with sour cream.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it makes it taste a little bit more savory. It's not meant to be so cloyingly sweet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we're gonna let these get a little bit golden brown. We're looking for bubbles to start forming at the edges.
Like you do with regular pancakes?
Yeah, like you do with regular pancakes.
Okay.
And these take maybe like slightly longer because they're filled with apple and they're very dense. So some people, top these with sour cream. Some people top them with powdered sugar. Some even like a fruit compote, like you said.
With other traditions that you had during the holidays, what stands out to you as another one, in addition, because food is always a great tradition?
I mean, my grandmother really would go all out and make, make the latkes, make things like matzo ball soup, make delicious layered cakes. She used to make a very famous cake called a Napoleon cake. Do you know those, where it's layered with pastry and cream?
Yeah.
Okay. Just need
close.
Yeah. No, it needs one more second.
Just one more
We're
second.
so close. All right. There you
go.
And
Look at
see,
that.
it gets a little crisped on the edge, and that's what we're looking for.
Sure.
So we'll just give it another quick moment on the other side, but I also have some that are already done.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
And you can find this recipe on sonyasanford.com on my website, and you can find more of these sort of family recipes in my cookbook, Braids, which is also available.
We're also going to put it on our website, but yeah, we'll make sure to check out Braids. It's a really good cookbook, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh, that's yummy.
Thank you so much, Helen.
That's yummy.
So glad you like it.
I love it. All right, thank you so much, Sonya. Again, Braids is the name of the book, recipe on the website. We'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.
Thanks.
So good.
Thank you.